All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome y'all to episode 10 of Weekly Views. Today, I got a man of jack of all trades, man. Black excellence, man. Incredible father.
I think
Wonderful husband.
I think so.
Man, dripped out as you can see. Part of podcast history in San Antonio, hip hop history in San Antonio. Man, I'm a Massachusetts in the house, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
Yo, Norm Gatson, man. Nasty Norm. I got a lot of aliases. I'm Miami Norm right now. You know what I mean? That's my vibes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Man, we're going to get to everything. So I want to take it back. Let's take it back to the East Coast days, you know, growing up in Massachusetts. How was that era?
It was great, man. Like, I'm from small city, Springfield, Mass. Like 150,000. It's directly in between Boston and New York City. It's about 2 hours from each. It's just a blue collar town. It was popping when I was growing up. It's a little bad up there now, but yeah, man, Springfield, man. You know, I rep it on my heart. You know what I mean? Everything I am. So
East Coast to the full.
Yeah, everybody thinks too when they hear Massachusetts. Yes, there's black people there. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's actually predominantly black in Puerto Rico where I'm from.
I think Nicky Jam grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts.
No, Nicky's from there, Boston.
Oh, okay.
That's another big thing too. Springfield, we from Springfield. We not from Boston.
Oh, you simply say lazy.
They ain't the same. They don't talk the same. You know, shout out to Boston, but we from the field though.
Represent.
You know what I mean? Definitely.
So what was your childhood like over there, man?
It was good, man. Grew up in the hood. I mean, you don't know it when you're growing up, but shit was fun, man. You know, I'm the oldest. Got two sisters, one brother that's younger. I was the youngest in my crew growing up, so I always kind of got like spoiled and taken care of, so to speak. What's like the biggest thing? I was kind of always been like popping. I was on the radio when I was in high school. Hosted like not my own show, but co-hosted with somebody on like the biggest radio station in the city, like 16, running around parties. Interviewing Mace, Fatal from the Outlaws, like at 16, 17, so just always kind of been in the mood, just moving and grooving.
That man been outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, and I ain't gonna say that, I grew up, my building I grew up in is like the epicenter for the city.
Oh, okay.
Like the biggest community centers right there, the basketball courts right there, so like even just getting off the porch, like just literally stepping out the door, everything was moving right there, so I grew up that place in the city, so.
Man, so like now in Massachusetts, what year how do you end up in San Antonio from?
Oh, military.
Military?
Yep, graduated high school at 17, hung around for about a year. My parents was like, you know, you gotta go do something. That doesn't involve you staying here. Cause that was probably the biggest thing, like, you know how some people grow up, they wanna get out their hood or whatever?
Yeah.
I loved it. I would've never left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything I needed was right there. Mm-hmm. But my parents kind of knew that, like, nah, you going to be stuck here because you enjoying it too much. So, ended up in the Air Force, and that's what brought me to San Antonio.
How long was you in the Air Force for?
Almost 12 years.
Man.
Yep. I was in the Air Force when I was moving around out here. Most people didn't even know that. Yeah, I was in the Air Force for a while when I first started moving around.
Stationed at Randolph?
No. Good old Brooks. Man, I was on the south side, baby.
Brooks City.
You know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace.
That southeast side, baby.
Rest in peace. My grandpa was stationed there.
Yeah, son. That's how I know about Mrs. G's.
Yeah.
Big Lou's. Floyd's. You know, I was in the trenches, baby. South Cross. You know what I'm saying? So we was down there for a while. Then I ended up at Lackland.
Good old Lackland. Mm-hmm. So was it a culture shock coming from the east to San Antonio?
Yes.
Man.
Huge culture shock. No people not gonna believe this. Never met a Mexican before until I moved here. Not one. Never had a taco outside of Taco Bell. The whole culture was different to me. I thought it was gonna be like tumbleweeds down the roads, like the Wild West. So yeah, it was a huge culture shock coming to San Antonio. Only thing I knew about San Antonio was David Robinson.
You usually hear that at the Spurs.
That's it. I knew nothing else about the city. Like, this is pre-internet too. I ain't that old, but internet wasn't popping like that.
So man, we gonna fast forward. How did you start getting involved in the music scene here in the city?
So I had a cat from Philly, right? He was in the military. My man Logic, shout out to Logic. Logic rap, right? But I always, like I told you, I was doing like radio. I've always just been kind of around in the mix. I was outside on the clubs. He rapped, so we was going around doing open mics and stuff and battling cats. And he was smoking everybody. And, you know, I be popping my shit. You know, I got whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we started moving like that. And then during that time period, Double R heard about him. So Double R got in contact with us to get on his Specialist mixtape at the time. And go meet Double R, do a couple songs with him. He was working with like Paul Wall, Craig G, I think this is pre-Flippin' Chameleonaire and them. And that's kind of how I got in the mix with the San Antonio music scene, was with Double R, Fingers, and that whole crew right there.
And when you hop in the scene, who were some of the rappers out here doing their thing at the time, if you can remember?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know no local rappers. So we all kind of, when we came in the door, we all met at the same time. So it was like the Third Degrees, Question, obviously Bugsy.
Right.
Their crew, Wood Grain and them. My man Teezy.
Shout out to Teezy.
Yeah, shout out to Teezy, 7-8 Riders. That was kind of the circle at that time, was that was moving around.
Now,
also too, I can't forget too, also the Vandal Cats. They was like on the other side of town, but yeah.
Shout out to the band though.
Yep.
Oh man, so those man, the golden.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. Yeah, I was in the mix then.
The hungry days, man. We had to get it out. Now, how did you and Bugsy end up meeting?
Okay, so I told you I met Double R, right? I'll never forget this. So Double R's telling me like, yo, I got, you know, from the East Coast. He like, yo, I got Craig G from the Juice Crew on the project. I got Will Pat, I got this joint from Paul Wall. I got a Spliff Star joint, right? But he's playing me the songs, and I'm just like, that's cool. And I just heard this kid, and I remember the line vividly. He said, some, 15 on the hip, I'm Vinny Del Negro. And bring it all the way back, Vinny Del Negro from Springfield, Mass. Played for the Spurs. And I was just like, oh, that was kind of witty. So I was like, yo, who that? And he said, he's like, oh, that's the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about him. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, let me check him out. So at that time, I also had my own shit, though. I had a mixtape out here called American Money that was popping. We had producers, everything. So I was telling my crew about him. And then it kind of just morphed around. We ended up meeting, this is Polo Marv, back when he was Sandman. You know what I'm saying? And so we linked up then, and then from there it was, I remember telling him, I was like, yo, I want you to come over here with us. But he was loyal to Fingers in them, which obviously salute, respected. But he was like, yo, you think you could help, like, maybe manage me or something like that? And at the time, I was like, sure. And that's kind of how it started. That was probably 02, 03.
So what was it about Bugsy that just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, made you just like, man, I like...
He rap better than everybody. I'm not being funny, like, he rap better than everybody. And he didn't sound like, I came down. You know what I mean? Like what everybody else was doing here, he wasn't doing that. So that literally, he was just a better rapper than everybody.
And what was the grind like back then when y'all really started getting things going?
Oh man, it's a lot of names that's in that story, right? So you got Fingers, right? Fingers in them, Finger Made Productions, Fingers Double R, shout out to E Money, they whole crew, they already moving. Fingers is with the beats, he's doing this, they doing tours throughout Texas. My wife is from Staten Island, New York.
Staten Island?
Yes. If you know what Staten Island is, you know what that means.
You know.
Right? Her family is affiliated with that. So, on the management side. So they manage some heavy hitters. Those are turned into my uncles.
Right.
So they're kind of guiding me through the process as me coming up, and I would bring them artists. Hey, cool, this, that, third. My cat from Philly was one of the first ones, Logic, who I was talking about, that they were liking. So I started moving around back and forth to New York. Then I brought Bugsy's music up to them, and they was like, was popping. So while Bugsy and Finger Made is doing this, I was kind of working it over here. Ended up hooking up with my man Pep, who managed a producer named Calvo the Great. Calvo the Great, check his credits, his first placement was Sierra's Like a Boy.
Oh, major.
Major. Tiger and Lil Wayne's I'm On It. Big records. He was 18.
Damn.
And Bugsy was like 17. So they met up at that time and started working. So it was always kind of like that crew over there, this crew over here, and then me and Bugs kind of had this thing in the middle. So that was kind of the process back in the mid-2000s.
Now, how was San Antonio reacting to, and this is pre-hometown?
Yeah, this is all pre-hometown.
How was San Antonio gravitating towards Bugsy's music? Because like you said, he was different. He wasn't your typical San Antonio artist at that time.
The ones that fucked with it. Like, you know, Bugs was very arrogant in a good way. Some of that shit was on us too. This is at the same time that I meet Hoss and them. You know, Bugsy had this infrastructure around him, the circle, that allowed Bugsy to do whatever the fuck Bugsy wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So there was some pushback from artists and stuff like that, but what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
So fast forward, y'all doing y'all thing, and then he records Hometown. What was your reaction when you heard that record for the first time?
Great story with Hometown. The beat from Hometown was done by DJ Carnage.
Okay.
Big Gordo now. Everybody knows, super EDM producer, right? He was just getting started. They met on MySpace. Exchanging music. Actually, Bugsy has some beats from Hit Boy that he just
Damn.
from MySpace, but Surf Club. He know. He recorded Hometown at my brother and my man Farouk's barbershop. We had a studio in the back. I wasn't here. I was in New York, shopping his music. He calls me in New York. He said, I got it. He said, I got the record. I'm shopping other stuff. I said, man, what you say? Yo, I'm not playing it for you over the phone. He said, I got the record. Came back to San Antonio. Matter of fact, me and my man Trap, we was in New York together. And as soon as I landed, he was like, I'm going to be at your house. He was at my house before I got home, like waiting outside for me to get there. I ain't take my bags out the car. He turned that joint on, and at the time, I didn't even know it was an Adele sample. I was like, oh, shit. And then the music business got real to me in that moment. Because when you in the game, you making your music, you in the city, you moving around. Like, we was moving, you know what I'm saying? We here, there, doing something, third. But when you get the record, and you know it's the record, not you think, not you, yo, maybe this can go, maybe they'll like this. That shit was like, we got it.
So,
got it.
How long after that, yeah, the record is out?
The record doesn't go out.
It don't go out.
The record is known between the inner circle, right? But now we're like, we got to do a video for this.
That was my next
But we can't do a video like everybody. We can't do a local video. But we didn't know who to go. And shout out to my man Noah. If Noah watches this, Noah gets forgotten in this picture a lot. Noah says, I got a dude that I grew up with that could shoot this video for you. He just got back from Full Sail Academy. And it was Brian Ramirez.
I was about to ask. That was my next question. Good segue. Brian Ramirez, like, God, what was it like meeting Brian at that time?
We met, y'all, all this joy is bringing back so many memories. Noah says, I got my man Brian. We gonna meet Brian. We meet at Jim's on Calabria 1604. That's how real it is. I'm giving y'all the real. For lunch, son. And he's telling us, and we're like, we play the record for him. He's like, yo, I can do it. And he was talking about, remember Kanye's Homecoming video?
Yeah.
Watch that now and then watch Hometown. Watch that video now. It's the same video. But he said, I can make your video look like that. And I was like, man, get the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about, son? And he said, trust me. And we worked out the numbers, you know what I'm saying? I'll never tell nobody what I paid for the video. And I won't put that, well, I paid for the video. We'll never put that out there, but nobody will ever believe it was done for whatever the number is.
Man, so after y'all filmed the video, what is y'all reaction to seeing it?
Yo, like, I might have cried, Joe. To be honest, I think I might have dropped a tear. The first time we seen it in pieces, when we got the full treatment back, we called everybody over to my house. I had just got the big, like when the 65 inches first came out, I had just got mine. Put that joint in the living room, and we put that joint on, and it was speechless.
Man, I got a funny story. Crazy story. Shout out to my homie YC, man. We was in middle school. I think this was 06, I think. MySpace. I go over his house, man. He showed me that hometown video, dog.
It was 09. It was 09. 09. Yep.
He showed me that video. I went bananas, cause I ain't never seen no videos like that coming out of the city. It was like a legendary, like y'all had set the bar for videos in the city at that time. It was like we had people out here doing some things, but when we seen hometown, and I was doing music back then, I said, man, that's it, man. Now, what was like I went outside, but what was the city's reaction when that record was jumping?
Yo, well, telling the story was so dope. The video leaked.
Oh,
the video, I know you hear the rapper, oh, my shit leaked. It leaked. It wasn't supposed to be out. We shoot the video, we got it on, like we could watch it. Brian not uploads it, he has it on, it's like whatever Vivo was then. The private. He didn't put it on private. And somebody got a hold of it. I'm gonna tell you who it was that got a hold of it. I saw it. Question. And I remember he said he tweeted, he said, oh shit. Yo, at whatever, they got it. And we pulled it back, but it already had got snatched.
Oh, word.
So it's funny because with the numbers, like it's like 1 million now, whatever. But at the time, it was in so many different places we couldn't. So when the video dropped, we weren't ready for it. And it was over, yo. Like, I'm be honest, there hasn't been a moment like that in San Antonio since. Like,
nah, that was, man. I still remember, like, this is my reaction to seeing the video and the record, and he was telling some stories, man. I was like, yo, who is this? And he didn't. When I remember hearing him, he did not sound like I didn't came down. That's what I liked about him. Now, the video was out. The song is going crazy. Y'all had labels coming in around that time.
We had labels before that. Yeah, we had we had hometown. I'm gonna tell the story. We here, right? Fuck it, ain't nobody can say nothing. 3 years before, we had a deal on the table. We were talking to, who was Chameleon at? Universal? Not through Chameleon, but Universal. I remember who was on the wall. Universal, Sony. Universal, Sony. Where was Fab's brother at? That must have been Sony. Bugs always says Def Jam, but it wasn't Def Jam, but it was somebody in that building. It was done. We had a project called Purple Heart. It was recorded. It was out of here. We had a flip feature. We had stack. It was gone, right? Bugs and Fingers fell out. Every beat on that project, Fingers gave a little flip.
Wow.
After Little Flip, these are real stories now. You getting real shit right now. This is after T.I. went for Flip. Flip was on the ropes. Fingers gave him a whole project and got him a new deal off of the Bugsy project.
Damn, man.
So they fell out, and we was back at square one. He had no music. He had no beats. Because he was Fingers' artist. He had no beats. And that's when Calvo came in. He gave us this record called Problem. It was back when the Runners was doing that. You got a prop. It was that type of style. And that shit kept us afloat in San Antonio. We had one record. We had one song that we owned for a year, son.
And this was before Hometown, right?
This was before Hometowns. So during that 3-year period, it looked like we was doing this. We had one song that we owned, fam. Nobody knew. They just thought like, oh shit, this, that, and third. But the deal at the time, the label deals was contingent on Bugsy and Fingers. They wanted that
package.
Yes. And Fingers had the UGK record out. So Fingers like fuck them, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So like, during this time, we all still they not cool, but everybody else still cool. I'm like, y'all gotta fix. You know what I mean? Like y'all gotta fix whatever y'all issues is. So we kept it moving off of one record, and then shout out bringing up Hoss. Hoss a real nigga.
Shout out.
During that time frame, Sos must have been coming around. And Hoss clicked up everybody and really started pushing mixtape records, like rhyming over other people's beats. And all that little thing going on. We had one real record that we owned, but that allowed us to stay afloat. And then Hometown came, and it was...
Now, after y'all dropped Hometown, was there more labels coming?
Yes. That's when Def Jam came in the picture with Shy Money.
Shy Money Mad.
That's when it came into the picture. I do not remember Oh, I know what happened. Yeah, we didn't do we weren't looking for a label situation then. We popping. Remember the guy Logic I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He back around. That's solid partner now, right? I mean, we always had like a little money, but now we got bread.
Right.
Like we cooking, you know what I'm saying? So now we like, we gonna do this shit on our, you know what I'm saying? So we started going that route. So whether the labels was called at that time or not, it really wasn't a priority for us after Hometown dropped.
Now, I remember Hometown, it seemed like after a while the steam kind of died down. What happened exactly?
I left. I left for 2 years. That's when I ended up in Africa. And to me, things got a little shaky from there, but why it seemed like it was dying down, we was cooking Stovetop Stories.
Stovetop.
Yeah, and that's been, like, Stovetop Stories still one of the best projects, like, to come out of the city, but we was cooking that. It just, from the time it was recorded to it dropping, there was a gap between there. But from in 2011, we was cooking. We was in Baton Rouge with KOC from Beats by the Pound.
Shout out, legendary, man.
You know what I'm saying? We was out there. Shout out to my man Filthy Rich. That's his engineer. We was out there. We was running back forth land. We was moving. So it was a little bit of time off, but it wasn't, let's say, like, because like we couldn't get signed, whatever. This is the era where Kendrick and them is coming up too. Kendrick, ASAP, and all them. So it was more of like a independent type thing. Stories that people don't know. We had an ASAP record that was that close to being finished.
Damn.
Prescribed Luxury was the title of it.
So,
and then Rocky just.
Now, what point do you and Bugsy, go y'all separate ways?
We finished up Stovetop Stories. It came out. It dropped. And then at that point, I was kind of just over the music in that sense. Like, I was over managing artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest with you. It wasn't really working out for me. It wasn't something that, the amount of effort I felt like I was putting in was too much for what my role was. I'll put it like that.
I got you. Before we get to New Illuminati, we talked about Hoss and what is the relationship with Deuce Dine come in the picture? How did you link up with those dudes?
Well, Hoss in particular, shout out to Squirrel too, that's my man. But Hoss is my brother. Like, I met him through Bugs years ago, before I even knew he rapped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just on some real nigga time. And our birthdays are like 5 days apart. Like, we're literally twins. And when I found out he rapped, I didn't know it was him. And he got this line, he said, I always tell him it's one of the dopest lines, the drought come in, but I irrigates the hood. And if you know who's talking, you like, oh shit, this nigga, who the fuck? So then it was like, on this time, I'm still with Bugs, they doing their thing, they too deep and stuff, they doing that over there. Long fast forward, like the music shit was like, I was always, like I don't manage them, if that makes sense. It's just I'm more involved, hands-on now, but it was always like there, like it's more of a family thing than anything, you know what I'm saying? So that's the relationship, like what's going on now with us, and we'll get to that later. That's something just different going on. But yeah, so I kind of just took that break from that point, and that kind of transitioned into podcast norm. You know what I'm saying?
And also, Hoss was the plug between Bugsy and Sos linking up. So far.
Yep.
Cause I remember they started working. I never really heard Hoss's music, but I remember seeing him on mixtape covers and stuff in the flea market. Him and Sos had a project.
Yep, I remember, super dope project. Yep.
And I remember seeing them, and I remember seeing Bugsy and Sos started linking up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Hoss, Squirrely too. I separate them. They're a group. Squirrel is just the coolest dude in the world. So I would even because Squirrel too cool to. You don't deserve to be a Squirrel's president. If you know Squirrel is just literally.
Nah, he cool.
He just the coolest. He one of the best rappers. Period. The reason why I bring up Hoss just always been a real nigga, son. Like, and it's never been in a sense of like. That's what we clicked up about. It was never about us. It was about the people we with and making them better. And when you meet people like that, can stand in the back with you and stand on who they are, the same way you standing on who you are, like you don't have to be in the front and still be comfortable in that room. You eventually just vibe and click up like that. So,
shout out to Young Hall. Shout out to, I had seen Squirrely at a shoe store.
yeah.
Hey, what's up, Jay Ross?
Say,
what's up with you, man?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Shout out to the dude. Now, I got to bring up a question because the question is a big part of my journey to New Illuminati. It was 2016, man. I think this was, man, probably maybe August.
Oh, you said bring up question?
Nah, I'm bringing up question because question is my introduction to New Illuminati. I'm going to tell you why. By August 2016, somewhere July, maybe May, I see question shared. I didn't really know no podcasts out here. Question share this thing. Anytime question shares something, he co-signs it. I'm rocking with it. And then that was my introduction to New Illuminati. So shout out to Question, you watching this, man. Shout out to you for introducing me to that podcast. You didn't even know. Now, where does that relationship come into play with Polo? Who did you meet first?
Me and Polo go back to beginning of Bugsy.
Oh, okay.
Polo, Sandman. He don't even like that. That's what I know. I know Sandman. I know him from the beginning of everything.
Okay.
And he always been, I remember when he was doing, he had the cameras out here in the city, like he was doing this, like he always just been so into the culture of San Antonio.
He was doing interviews at one point?
Interviews, like he was doing everything. So everything he was doing, even when New Illuminati started, we was always on the phone. Y'all think I'm gonna do this? What you think? Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, go run with it. Yo, what you think about this? How you think about Lake It Up? So when New Illuminati started, I wasn't on it.
You weren't?
No, I didn't come on the New Illuminati till like season 4.
Oh.
But I didn't know J-Boy, but I had a relationship with IQ from Going Back American Money, which I forgot IQ's on that project.
Word.
When he was in a group called we put it together called The Order. When I say like lineage here, like I'm not from here, but I do be walking around like I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, and I mean that shit. Like I was here. IQ know the people. When I said I had my crew and Logic and Tech Architect and them, it was people from the city like, yo, we gotta go fuck with them. Them niggas got some shit going on over there. Question know us from battling. Him and my man got busy in Motion Sonic. Like that's what I was like, oh, who the white boy?
I heard about Motion Sonic, legendary studio.
Like, he was like one of the first dudes. I was like, oh, he go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was vice versa. Like, oh, y'all got something going on. Y'all cooking over here. Like, this, when I say the battle rap, I keep shouting a lot. He from Philly, dog. This is Philly. This is pull it out. You know what they was doing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was one of them. You know what I mean? In San Antonio, it was vicious. So fast forward to New Illuminati. They started New Illuminati. I was just there. I was a listener just like everybody else.
Grown man section.
Just listening. No.
Oh,
No. I never showed up. I was just a listener. I called Polo, yo, I think this is dope. Boom, boom, boom. The first time I got there when I met Mozzie was Bugsy's interview on New Illuminati.
Stovetop Stories 2?
One.
One was one?
It was Stovetop Stories 1. I was there. I wasn't on the mic. I was just in the background. That's when I met Mozzie. And this, that, and third. That's when I found out about the grown man section. Who was there? I met Mr. Will, a couple other people. Shout out to Mr. Will too.
Star, I think Star would be in there.
Star wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there.
Star wasn't there yet. I mean, not say he wasn't there, but he wasn't then. But like I said, I had a relationship. That's where I met J-Boy. But I had a relationship with IQ. We got a relationship. Put it like that. So what happened was after they were taking breaks, right? They were taking breaks. After I think the second season, Polo hit me and was like, yo, come on the show. And I was like, he was like, nah, for real. He was like, yo, I already talked to the dudes, whatever, because everything they was doing on the podcast, we was doing on the phone. So at that point, that's when I joined New Illuminati. So I joined like that next season, Questions, probably second interview was that time.
I remember listening to hearing the East Coast voice, man, got Norm in the, yo, son, you know.
Yeah.
Now, when you joined the podcast, you know what I'm saying, was there anything as far as format change that you kind of like introduced, or it was the same thing, same flow?
I think I was just a new voice. I IQ always says he wasn't on a podcast, but he was on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's back when he was the engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he wanted to get on the mic. But now I was just a new voice, and me and Polo's real life dynamics were naturally opposed to everything. Like, whatever he liked, I dislike. I love Kendrick, he liked Drake. I like Cardi, he liked Nicki. You know, he's a Lakers fan, I'm a Celtics fan. Like, it's literally our whole existence is to argue with each other.
Shout out to Polo, man.
Shout out to Polo.
You can't say nothing bad about Drake around that man.
You know what I'm saying?
OVO Polo. You can't say nothing bad about Drake. No Drake tolerance.
Yeah, so when I came on, I think it brought a good dynamic, and that's really when I got cool with the Stars, the Mozzies, everybody else around the scene was at that point. And I think I brought we moved to a new building. One of the things, I mean, I say as a joke, you know, I'm Hollywood, this, that, there, but like, I'm very professional. You see what I called you?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna be here at this time. If something change, boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't do the military part, right? Even people ain't know, like, that's part of what made me a good man. Like, I'm very professional. I'm very business orientated. And I think that's kind of what I brought to the pod was like, yo, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be here at 7:30. We're gonna do this. The guest's gonna be here. Boom, 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 boom. So that's kind of, I think, something else I bring to the table.
At one point, did you notice things, and I mean, if you can speak on it, did you notice that the pod is starting to kind of crumble?
Has anybody else spoke on this?
I mean,
I'm gonna give this to you.
You can. We here.
I'm gonna tell you the real reason. I ain't gonna say who. There was a difference in opinions on how the pod should move forward, and it really boiled down to versus audio versus video. And I'll just leave it like that.
I heard that story.
Yeah, and at that point, it just separated, and I moved to England.
Oh.
And that kind of just, once it was like that, kind of just deaded it.
I feel like they could have did a better job as far as reaching out to more artists and more guests in the city. 'Cause from my eyes, a lot of the guests seem relationship based. That they
100%.
And so it looked like
bias.
Bias, gatekeeper-ish, you know what I'm saying? They didn't, so I think that was that was one of my critiques of it, is I don't think they extended their reach enough.
Oh, you lucky. If I was in charge, it never would have been an artist on there. I'm real big on, like, it would have been one artist every 10 episodes if it was up to me. Like, I told Mozzie this when I came on board, and I tell, like, and me being the insider in the city, like, I don't have relationships with a lot of these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't need you. I never did need you. We've never exchanged anything. So, like, I can say no. Like, it's no big deal. I don't want that person on. Why? That would be my biggest question. Why? What's going on for them to come up? So a lot of times when you're saying, like, certain artists in the city, like, it might have been me. It might have came across me like, yo, what you think about this? And I probably was like, I'm good. So any of your artists out there that did get on might have been, I'll be the bad guy.
Playing this guy.
Yeah.
Was there like a favorite guest on the show that, you know, that you were there for? Favorite episode, I must say.
Yo, you know what? Who was it? Just because I didn't know I knew him, but the Ray C episode, I always liked that episode.
Good one.
It was relationship based, but it's not Deuce Dime. It's not because of them. When Player Made, they just happened to show up, and we end up interviewing them. And I knew members, but I didn't know. I knew them as a patron of their parties. That was super, super dope. What's my man, the DJ up in Austin?
Hella Yella. That was another good episode, man.
Yep.
Like, I listened to a lot of them episodes, man.
Yep. Hella Yella was another good one. One that I wasn't on that I loved. What's the kid that ended up doing a lot of the animated stuff?
Oh, Richie Branson.
Richie Branson. Great episode. That's probably one of my favorite all-time episodes. Yeah, that episode was really, really good.
Yeah, man, that podcast right there, man, that's like, I was watching that, like, man, I want to get in the scene. That was kind of like, that was my introduction. Like, I was like, I want to do something. I don't know what I want to do, but shout out to shout out to y'all, man, for real, because y'all definitely inspired and opened up a floodgate of pods in the city, man. Like,
oh yeah, I'd say that all the time. Like everything that's going off is a branch of New Illuminati. Like, they, and I say they. I don't even put myself. I join. You know what I'm saying? With J-Boy, IQ, Apollo, those three to me, that's New Illuminati. Everything that came after that was add-ons, whether it was a grown man section, but. Shout out to J-Boy, shout out to IQ, and shout out to Polo. That was their vision, and they deserve all the credit for that.
Now, when it ended, was it talks of, did you try to get the gang back together? Did you, it was, once it was done, it was done? No,
me and Polo had some things in mind. Yeah. And we still may have some things in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Polo, we need you back out here, man.
Yeah. And that's another thing, too, while we giving it up. Like, even with the music scene, it ain't the same with Polo not active.
No, it ain't.
Polo will wake up in the morning and shake up the whole city and then go back to sleep or go to the gym.
Nah, I didn't see it on Facebook.
And it'd be so funny to me because, like, I'll be talking to him and he like, yo, watch this. And then put his phone down and it's just like chaos. I'm like, yo, this dude is crazy, son. Like, I thought that was so fly, but we haven't had a... Mozzie and you are becoming that for two different reasons. And I'm pointing off camera at Mozzie so they see that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we still need people out here, quote unquote, be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Bear bad news, to ask the tough questions, to get people to, I'll give you a perfect example. It's not pointing at nobody. I always want to ask rappers, why are y'all collabing in San Antonio?
That's a tough one.
I would love to get that question answered for me. Because I know I know why we collab with certain artists. I know why we didn't. I'll give you a perfect example. Bugsy and Lil' Ken was like this. They don't have a record together. They don't have a song together. It was cool as hell. Because there was no point at that time for them to be coming up to collaborate. The point would have been when you signed, these signed, we here, we both in our own space. Now we come together and now it's a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of feel like a lot of people are stepping on those moments for that. And I don't, that's just me. I might be old school, but I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be a moment when Eastside Fish hop on somebody's joint. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever's out there. You know what I'm saying? I say Fish because I fuck with Fish. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Fish.
But, I want it to be moments. So it's things like that. Like, I sit back and I'm always wondering, like, what we doing, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's all this collab happy stuff? What's happening? Like, what's the purpose? And I get it. If it's uniting different sides of town, different crews, if it's stylistically, you know what I'm saying? Stylistically, but you can rock with people. Like I said, I rock with everybody out here. It took years for IQ and Bugs to do a collab. They got one song together. That's all they need. Let that song live and breathe. That's what made Hall so important. It was Bugs and Sosa was circling each other. Now I'm going to pull this together and we're going to get these couple joints. Now it's a moment. But if they just went off and every other time one pop in the studio, they hopping on each other's records, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I agree. Man, I want to go to the dad life, man. Every time I love seeing your social media,
yeah.
like the family presence, man, like the black excellence. We don't see a lot of it these days. When I see you, man, how was just like, I know your daughter, she's a soccer and stuff like that. So how was just that whole journey? Just
man, listen, man. I'm shout out to my wonderful wife. We just hit our 20-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And she tell like, it's been rocky, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we here, right? And our family life, like, the thing is, like, everything you do is for that reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the best part of life, yo. Like, it's simply the best part. My daughter, the flyest, you know what I'm saying? My son is hilarious. He's smart as a whip. We are the cool parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be the cool parents. Like, we sneaker shop together. We do this. We talk shit to each other. Like, you come in my house, you be like, yo, we talk wild. Like we just us though. Like, and going back to my wife, like, she her. Like, I'm cool and all, but she do all this, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people all the time, like, I'm cool with following her. Like, I married up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I happily say that. Like, I married up, and you know what I mean. She allowed me to get out here and, you know what I'm saying, do what I does. You know what I mean. So like the dad life is great, man. It's fun, bro.
You know, it's crazy because when I'm seeing your daughter play soccer, I don't see a lot of African American, you know, children even interested in soccer, and that for me, that's like she going, you know what I'm saying, she doing her, like she not trying to go be like everybody else.
So nah, I'm gonna tell you, like, see, everything I do is calculated. Like, I don't really do nothing sporadic. I've never have, like, in life. Even the soccer thing was, you know, she was one of the kids. I wanted her to play a sport, right? I wanted her to do something just to stay active or whatever the case would be. Once she started playing, I looked and I was like, she the only black girl here. Well, who's going to stand out when the people are looking? They're going to look at the only black girl, right? And then you mess around and be good at it. It was like, yo, this is easy. This is an easy path to great. I remember at the time, I thought about moving to D.C. some years back. And I was looking at the different teams. I said, man, there's a lot of black kids that play out there. I was like, nah, yo, we just stay in San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? But it's things like that, yo. Like my son, for example. My son don't play no sports.
Man, that dude's a character. Like when I see that dude's a character. Y'all need a TV show.
Yo, you know what's crazy, man? I say that and I can't even. What's funny? Even talk about like people don't know. Like all my pages are private. So
right.
Even got to come in.
Yeah.
And so everybody there. Because I still got this thing of like, I don't want to exploit my kids either.
Right.
So it's this fine line because that kid he's special. Like he's different. I know he is. I know if I let him go, he'll go viral every day, right? But it's still like that thing as a parent, like, I don't know what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, life is good. I don't need it for money and stuff like that. So I don't know, but even with him, like he's into coding, like, and so now with him, you just nurture that. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Like, too, as a parent, I always tell people like, you got to nurture what your kids want to do, not what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever they good at, that's what you got to nurture. That's
rare too, because a lot of parents want to live their lives with their kids.
I had to tell my daughter that one time. She thought because I told her she had to do something, like, cause I used to play soccer as a kid.
Yeah.
And I said, Shaheen, I stopped playing in 8th grade not because I wanted to, like not. But I had to tell her, like, my life is amazing. What could I live through you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta check your kids like that too and tell them, like, I'm not living through you. Like, I had to tell her too, like, if I didn't have you, you know how much more I'd be doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta let your kids know sometimes too, like, no, I'm not living my life through you. I'm just trying to put you in position to win.
Now, I know you lived in England. I always wanted to go. What's life like in the UK?
So I lived right outside of Cambridge. It's a big university town, Cambridge University. It's about an hour outside of London, but it's rural out where I was. I'm also from Massachusetts, right? New England, right? I swear to God, it looks exactly the same. And it literally felt like where I grew up. Like the towns, the buildings, the names, even some of the food. Like I grew up eating shepherd's pie and stuff like that. Like the culture, that part kind of like blew my mind. Like, wow, so much of our culture where I grew up is rooted in this place. And as soon as I got there, this is the coolest thing my son said. Me and my daughter was there for a year first, right? My son and wife was back here. My son would come visit though, right? And then we came back to the States, then I took him to Springfield, Mass. And we were driving, he said, oh, Daddy, we're going to your house. And I'm like, how does he know his grandmother's house? He thought he was in England.
Oh, word.
That tells you how similar it was. Like, as we're driving from the airport of Massachusetts, he thought he was driving from the airport of London to my crib in England.
Wow.
So that's how similar the places are. So it's dope. In London popping. London is popping. Like, I still want to... I was there, COVID hit and stuff like that. So, like, I kind of fucked up my last 6 months over there. I still want to do another stint, like, this time in London proper.
I got to pick a bone with you, because I heard you say it on the podcast on Chief Street. Shout out to Chief Street.
Yeah, I've been saying a lot of
shit. You said you ain't like my show, Top Boy. Because you said it wasn't like the real London.
No. That might be the London. I don't like the way they talk. I just don't like their accent.
Okay.
Like, when they add the Jamaican shit with the West Indian, with the... the Brixton South Line. I can't, nah, son. I'm not fucking with Top Boy, yo. Like, I can't. You gotta put the dialogue box on. Like, I don't like the way they talk over there. I still don't, even though I was there. I don't be wanting to hear that shit, yo. Like,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get their little slang. Shout out to my man LG. I be saying the shit to him, but that's my man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He from West Ham. West Ham. That's how they say it. You know what I mean?
Man, so before we get out of here, man, back to Deuce Down, man. What's going on with them guys? What they got cooking?
Okay, so we dropped the project, top of the year. I gotta ask y'all a question now with San Antonio. What gets missed in San Antonio where other regions pick up our artists way faster than the locals? And I'm gonna bring up another point. I'm gonna take Deuce Down out of it, right? I'm seeing it happen right now. Shout out to my man Deshaun J. I'm seeing it happen. He don't get love out here. He get love from the people that, but I'm talking about on a global, on the scale that it should be. I bring that up with Deuce Down. Yo, Chuck D radio station just picked them up. They got a station, another station in Illinois, #1 record. I shouldn't say this. Radio station picking up a song, but locally, and for me, it's not frustration because once again, let's go to tag. I'm not from here, right? So I don't get like butthurt because I'm like, man, I ain't from here, right? But for the guys from here, whatever the case may be, I always wondered that. Like, what do you think that is?
Oh, it's always. I mean, question dealt with that from right. It's always been. It's like the city they cater to who they want to cater to. But even me, I get probably a lot more love in Dallas and somewhere than I do here. I know people might not think that, but it's because they view you as local. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's the part of it.
You think it's the fact that they can still see you and touch you that kind of like diminishes where they place you?
Okay, so I'll give you an example, right? And I give you 2 examples. You see somebody like the Mike Dimes. The mystique is Mike Dimes. People, nobody sees Mike Dimes out here. Mm-hmm. But if you see somebody like, you're probably gonna run into a hoodlum at a Walmart or HEB. You might run into Izzy somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So that's the mystique of it. If they see you, it's like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't nobody. But if they don't see you, that's what's gonna make them gravitate towards you.
That's so. It is what it is. I guess it's just weird for San Antonio because it's not Houston. Ain't like that, of course. You gotta. Whether they gotta see you in Houston for you to pop. You know what I mean? Another artist I do gotta put the shout out to Houston because he coming back out too. Another cat I work with, real tough. Mikey ISO. I
think you're supposed to send me some of his music.
Mikey is fire from Houston. He got a new project that's coming top of the year. Mikey do a lot of stuff on his own. Usually at this point, I just hear it towards the end. But his first project, a little more involved. But that's still, I want to big up. Like, it's very few artists that I still will put an input on. But he's definitely one of them. Mikey ISO is definitely fire. But no, back to the Deuce Dom thing. So we moving. We still working records. We got this Overgrind season about to drop. We try to pick. This is funny. We're picking songs, right? We got the songs or whatever. What we think. I'm saying this on camera. They might disagree. You know what I'm saying? Dope Boys is about to be one of them ones.
I can't wait to hear.
I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna play it for y'all after here. The rough mix. Yeah, I said it. You know y'all can do about it. I got the music. You know what I mean? But yeah, we just gonna keep working. In the overall, I'm giving y'all the secrets right now, right? The reason why I came back around with Deuce Dom, it's like market research. Because the overall goal, believe it or not, is to once again get back to the city, right? But how you gonna tell the city what to do or artists what to do if you don't go do it yourself? You gotta go bump your head. You gotta go figure out this new streaming game, how this works, the new platforms. I'm from the quote unquote old school, right? We get it popping, we get a video, it goes to World Star, we on, right? I mean, that's funny because that's old school now, right? So we gotta go do the work to figure out how to get on the 4th line at this festival, right? To do this over here. So a lot of the things we're doing, and even ask you questions and want to come on this platform, is trying to figure out stuff so we can give the game back to the city, because I feel like that's like another thing that's lacking. It's a lot of, you said gatekeeper. I'm about to sound like Jay. Jay said, right? Yeah, I ain't want no artist coming on New Illuminati personally. But if you listen to the show, you got what you needed from the show. Just like if you listen to an interview I do with Mozzie, it's there. If you listen to me when I'm on Cheap Suits, it's there. It's there. We don't need to talk in person if you just pay attention to what's being said. You know what I'm saying? So that's right now, that's the focus, man, is just putting out. I said this before we got on camera, like I want people to make good music. I said that last time I was on with Mozzie, like whatever, like make the music, fam. Like take some pride in the musical side of things. Like I don't give a fuck what kind of music you make. Just take the pride in doing it, man. So like that's kind of where we going with it. That's what I'm working on. And who knows, man? My daughter's starting to get a little itch. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be a dadager, right? That's what momager. I'm not gonna be one of those. But I'm interested to see where she wanna. I gotta be hands off though. You know how that is as a parent. You can't. Anything I tell her to do, she don't do it. If you tell her to do the same thing I just told her to do, she'll do it. I'm like, I just told you that shit 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to Cheyenne, Shop Boogie.
Hey man, well look, Norm, it was an honor. I know we've been trying to do this since like last 22. Fine, man, it's a pleasure, man, for real.
I appreciate this, and I gotta leave you with what you're doing is vital, and I love the way that you're shifting. I love the way that you constantly keep growing. Don't get discouraged. Though we talked about like who's in the comments and this, that, and the third. Do not get discouraged. I don't care about views. Don't worry about views. Don't worry about views, right? See, I got bars, son. You know what I'm saying? But this is so important to the next steps of the city. And also, I'm just telling you, my words of advice to you, like, man, fuck them, yo. If they don't like it, whatever, yo. Whatever you get them, whatever you say is your opinion. They shouldn't be taking it personal, dog. We talk about music, yo.
Yeah.
Like, if I say your music suck, I don't think you're a bad person, fam. Like, I can say your music sucks and we can still go hang out, yo. Like, the next song I might like, yo, this one just sucked. And you should be able to tell them it sucked.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. So I got your back, trust me. You know what I'm saying? I know where you from too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of 7-8 energy
yeah.
around here, so you good. You know what I mean?
You already know.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, look, this was episode 10 with Nasty Norm, man. Y'all make sure y'all be on the lookout for this.